Willie D Live.
You was a police officer and you was in the military. Now, when you were in the military, what were you doing?
So in the military, I was...
And what branch were you in?
Army. So I was
okay.
in the military for 10 years, and I was in supply. And I was also in the route clearance unit, which means that we were in the unit that cleared the road of IEDs and bombs, so infantry could come through without having to worry about that.
Bombs?
Yeah, it was fun to learn certain things. And so my main job, though, my personal job was I was a 92 Yankee, which means I was supply. So no one could do anything in the unit without signing it out through me. So I issued everything from toilet paper to whatever weapons you needed, whatever tanks you needed, all of that had to be signed. I was the plug. Everybody knows in the military, your supply is who you make sure you have a great relationship with, because if you need anything, it has to come through me first.
And then you get out of the military, and what makes you join the police force?
You know, I was walking in the gym, and this guy walked next to me, and he was like, "Hey, we hiring. Do you need a job?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." It was that easy. They want people who are prior military. I am from Acres Home, so me being a police officer,
out to the fofo.
Absolutely, me being a police officer is not something that's ever been on my radar. It's never been something that I aspire to, but it was an easy transition out of the military.
And
in what capacity?
Even underneath that, like you often talk about, the fact that you didn't feel chosen and what you experienced in your childhood, all of those jobs was a reflection of. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what my husband is referring to is it took me a while to figure this out. Everyone's like, "You were in the military? You were a police officer?" My energy does not, now I can be extremely firm, but my energy still doesn't reflect the energy that's required to have a career like that. And so as I started my healing journey, I recognized that a huge part of me did not feel safe. So I started traveling in my van with my German Shepherd. We travel all around the U.S. and we renovated our van. And I recognized, like, I had like a machete, I had a hatchet, I had
You
like
was traveling
all
by
my
yourself
guns.
with a German Shepherd?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like she was famous in the van life culture before, like when I first met her.
Wow.
She was famous in that culture too. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we traveling all around, and I'm like, I really don't feel safe. I have all of these things, even my German Shepherd who's trained in safety and security. Why don't I feel safe? I got as many guns as you can try to figure out, and I know how to use them very well, but why don't I feel safe? And so it started to dawn on me that when you don't feel safe, you start to attract everything in your life that makes you feel what you need to feel. So it's not a coincidence, me not having my dad, not having masculine energy. I would even spray cologne on my pillow just to feel a sense of masculine energy. And that also resonates of me wanting to feel safe. So acquiring the career of being in the military around nothing but men, I was the only woman in a unit of 350 men. And then transitioning from that to policing, to where I have a gun on my ankle, on my hip, on my knee. I have weapons all around me as an unconscious way to make myself feel safe. So me entering those careers had nothing to do with me wanting to be in the military, wanting to be a police officer. I was unconsciously looking for ways to make myself feel safe.
Now, were you on the beat as a police officer?
Yes, I was initially. And then, they just recognized how my smile is and how my energy is. I was like, let us find you something else to do.
You ain't corrupt enough to be on this beat.
I had one time I tried to pull somebody over there. I was like, you know what? let us find you something else
Just
to do.
once?
Yeah, that was it. Let me tell you what happened. So I pulled this person over. They was speeding.
Hey, sir, I think you were speeding. Do you think you were speeding?
Listen, I ain't even get that far.
What's going on in your life?
I didn't even get that far. I cut on my lights, and a naked woman jumped out of the truck and started running towards my car. And then a naked man jumped out the truck and started running towards my car. So I was like, oh no, like they ain't teach me how to deal with this. It's my first day off training. They ain't teach me how to deal with this. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. I'm on the radio trying to tell them like, hey, I need somebody to come help me. And then come to find out, the man ended up killing her the same night. And so it was so much that happened in that situation to where I had to speak to like FBI. I had to speak to a lot of different agencies. And they were like, you know what? Let's find another position for you to where you don't have to be in this space. I was like the most positive person in my unit. And I think I was really blessed that my chief saw in me that he did not want to corrupt my energy. He didn't want any of that to change. So they created positions around me the whole 7 years that I was a police officer.
7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So they moved you from the streets to what?
So they moved me from the streets, and then I started teaching criminal justice to juveniles in juvenile detention. I started teaching criminal justice to middle school, high school students. I started being like the in-house chaplain to other police officers who needed help with their mental health, speaking to someone and needing someone to guide them through their process. So they kind of just allowed me to do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.